Hi, and welcome to another ArchDaily interview. Today we are talking with Suhailey and Kabir, co-founders of Co.Creation.Architects, and Rubaiya from Platform of Community Action and Architecture, part of the team behind the co-creation of urban spaces by the Nobogonga River in Bangladesh, and winner of the fifth category of the UIA 2030 award. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this interview. Okay, so let's just start by introducing everyone. So can you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your background and about the team behind the project?
Yes, me and Kabir, we are from Co.Creation.Architects, and Rubaiya Nasrin is from Platform of Community Action and Architecture. And three of us are architects, and in our team, we have people professionals from different backgrounds, and we have actually a network. So in the network, we have Co.Creation.Architects and POCAA, and also Community Architects Network.
Thank you, Suhailey. And was there anyone else also involved in the project, or was it just
Yes.
both the teams?
Yeah, for this particular project, it was the team is even bigger, and it's in Jinaida, so the people of Jinaida is involved, and so they have a citywide people's network is involved, and also Jinaida municipality, so they are also involved, very much active in this project.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the community involvement later on. Congratulations on your win, of course. So you've been granted the award for your project. Can you tell us more about this specific intervention?
Yeah, thank you. Let us tell you a little bit of the background. Like Jinaida is a secondary town, and we have a beautiful river. And Kabir and me, we started living in this secondary town like in 2015, and we started to connect with many people. And initially, we were working with the low-income settlements, the network, to co-create their housing, how they can create their housing, and we were working like that. And gradually, we had a feeling like if the community can actually design and build their own houses, the city can also be designed by the citizens. So from that, they actually encourage us to be here. So then we started slowly, gradually. So the project then evolved, and there was a network. Like there was different groups of the city, like the group from the cultural background, then elderly people, then low-income settlements, and cyclist groups. So they have a very diverse group in the city, and we started to make dialogue, to talk and work in like different workshops, small workshops, and started to organize what they have been doing, like what they are thinking about their cities. And as a professional architects, we actually organized what they aspired for. So this is how the project actually started. And when we worked with the city people, they aspired for the big river step, as you see, and there is also a community river step. So when we sat with the low-income settlement group, it was their dream to have a community river steps there. And then we actually tried to connect the whole city with a pathway along the river and connect these both river steps with that.
Wow. So speaking of community and all of these, what is actually your understanding of co-create? The name of the project is co-creation.
Okay, I'll answer that. So cities, or say urban spaces, they are designed through different methods or processes, and the overall development and sustainability definitely depends on which process it is being followed. And for us, co-creation is a process that considers people and nature as the driving force. So people actually keeps co-creating their surroundings whether architects are present or any other professionals are there or not. And our realization is that the process in which if we design urban spaces or cities, the process is most effective only when the people are engaged with it. It becomes so much more powerful and the impact is so much larger. And also to co-create or co-creation does not necessarily mean to work with humans only. It's also about considering the non-human communities, the plants, the animals, the river itself. So co-creation is just considering this human and non-human communities and working together. That's co-creation.
And why do you think, Rubaiya, this project was selected as the winning project?
Well, if we think because it's because of the process, well, honestly, because it's not an isolated project, it's part of a process there, and it's still ongoing. There's a long process of community people, and which started from community, and then it opened to the city. It became a city network, and the people actually owns the space and it reflects on the design. So this approach in Jhinaida and this by Nobogonga River, it's sort of a proof that people can actually design when they have the platform, and architects sort of work as facilitators. So I think it's because of this whole process, and it's just a proof that people's led process can be successful in such a way and can be so much impactful. And we are really humbled to see that this kind of people's process is being recognized.
Yeah, people would actually surprise you. I agree totally on this. And how did you make sure that your approach was really inclusive? And how did you manage to implicate all types of, like everyone in the community in the process? Because I know that it's hard to really, to have everyone on board, if that makes sense.
All right. So I would say we did not have to make sure it's inclusive because it was a people's initiative. So people collectively start this initiative, and we sort of, I can say, we ensure to reach out to the people who usually do not have a say in city planning, say the children group, the women group in our context, the street vendors, the low-income communities. So it was like a series of workshops or discussion sessions over a few years that developed through this, and there was sort of a movement, like in Bengali local language, it's called Doshe Mili Jhinaida Gori, which means we can co-create Jhinaida city together. So it's part of this whole process, and throughout this time, students, children, cyclist group, photographer group, cultural group, different groups were involved, and that's how sort of the people's dream came together. We were like there to organize or facilitate, but the approach was like, actually it was from the very beginning, it was a collective approach, so there was nothing extra added to make it like inclusive. And how can it be implicated? Again, because it was a people's process, it's part of a bigger dream. The architects were facilitators, so the communities were engaged from the very beginning. And if you see now, the use and the users vary in different times, in different seasons, during festivals or during a regular day. It sort of it is owned by the city people, the citywide network. It is owned by as they own it, so they either like hosting an exhibition or just to sit there, or maybe some activity to walk for elderly to walk in the morning. So some activities are always happening, different age group, different gender, all kind of people are already using the space because they own it. So that is how it's being implicated.
So the outcome is an open space with different functions, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, it's a really great project. I've seen the videos and I'm super interested in knowing more about other projects that you have been also doing. So after this one, the co-creation of urban spaces by the Nobogonga River, what other projects are you working on? Maybe Kabir can tell us.
Yeah, I can. as as we mentioned, that this is a part of a continuous process. So the project you have seen is just a project, but this is a part of a continuous. So after this, many things are happening, and this project is not complete. So this is also the municipality and other citywide people's network. They are also building continuation of this riverside walkways. So this is ongoing, and we are working on that. And other things are, it's like, it's not us, the whole city, and they know that, this type of uh, recognition is coming, so that's why actually they are pushing. It's not us architects, they are pushing forward, and we are just going behind them to support this city-wide process. The other things are happening is that the architects, what we have been doing, that is, we are now documenting all the historically significant buildings along the river, so that we can connect all those buildings, and many are demolished. So we are thinking that through this process we can, and also the river water became polluted. It's becoming more and more polluted, and through walking by the river, and through swimming competition and other things, so we are facing the river again. And not only us, I mean the city people all, and the city authorities also. The other things are happening after this. It's kind of a connected thing. That is, during this COVID situation, many children were not going to the school, and the teachers are not also they are kind of jobless, that type of. And then we are asking these low-income communities and also the children, what can you do in the city? How can you be useful? So they they formed groups, and they eventually they started to clean their own communities, around their community, and also they started to make gardens. So we have formed a citywide children's gardening network. So around more than 40 groups, they are working in the city, and the teachers. So this is again another movement, and this movement is again recognized by others, and this is going to scale it. And many organizations, they are going to scale it up in other cities. So now actually we are more busy with scaling it up in other cities. And also this city planning process, now we are engaged, POCAA and Co.Creation.Architects and others. We are engaged in another city, Cox's Bazar, and that city is going to be, I mean, there will be a master plan, but we are helping to engage people for that master plan. So this is also an outcome of this process. So this is what we have been doing now.
It's a lot, and it's amazing that one punctual project basically on the river engendered so many others. And probably because of your process, because it was so successful, more people want to be engaged also with other design, let's say, elements and projects. Kabir, another question also for you. Why do you think it's important for architects to engage with the sustainable development goals, and especially with the SDG 11 in your case, which is related to green and public space?
I think all goals of SDGs is very important for architects. It's not only the goal number 11, because it can push us to be inclusive. And architecture is, I think, more than what we imagine. We can contribute. We, the architects, can be more useful in bigger or wider field. If we just consider this SDG, all the goals, not only 11. And in this particular project, yes, we have more relevance with number 11. But I think all architects and in academia and other places, I think this SDG should be addressed more and more to be more inclusive. And other things that we are thinking that actually we didn't think about SDG that much, during our process, because what I was thinking, after hearing this question, that SDG was developed by many types of people from many backgrounds of people, and the way we have been working is also not architects. There's many people, so it's anyway it's touching all. I mean, most of the goals of SDG, because it's not only architects working in this process. Yeah.
Sure. Suhailey, Kabir, and Rubaiya, thank you so much for explaining this project and for sharing all of your insights with us. Would any of you would like to add anything else, or do you want to talk further more about the specific project? We're good.
I think I want to include a little bit like what excites us. And it's we are saying it's a project, but it's more like a process. And as Rubaiya says, like this project is owned by the city itself. It's not the professional. So that's why it keeps rolling. And from this, many other processes are evolving, and many things are branching up. So yeah, it's not the final product. It's not about the final product. The platform, yeah, it's a part of that, but it actually connects with everyone, every people, every citizens, and along with that, with our profession.
I can add, because it's a big team. That's why the happiness also is very big. The whole city. If when they will hear, and I mean, the whole city will celebrate, because it's the success and it's the achievement of the whole city people. And it can be another thing that it's not isolated thing. It's like this type of river centric and water centric city. We have a lot of cities in our country, and not in our country. I think many people can take inspiration from this. In our country, that's if Chennai city people can do it, why can't we do it in other places? So maybe that will happen. So that's why we are very excited and happy.
And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all these information, and good luck for the rest of the projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.